Have you found your calling? Kind of a big, powerful question. Your calling. Some people are called. There's a lot of confusion, in my view, between a calling meaning an occupation or a calling meaning some quality or skill that you possess. I want to promote the latter, the idea that your calling is better suited not being an occupation. I want to be a dancer. I want to be a filmmaker. I want to be a football star. I want to be a whatever. The idea of a calling being something that you've already been called to and answered to is a better way to think about it. We feel lost in the world if we don't have some sense of purpose and some sense of calling. But I'm going to suggest it's already called you. It probably called you before you started your occupation. It's probably the calling that led you to want one occupation versus another. So if you look at calling as some trait, skill, attribute, quality, something that you keep bringing to the world around you, you're going to find that you're answering your calling at work, you're answering your calling in your home life, you're answering the calling when you meet someone. It's a quality about you that you bring to everything that you do. Now, one way to find that, if you don't know what it is you ask yourself the question, what was I the only one doing? You're in a meeting or a conversation, or you're hanging out with friends or meeting new people. There's something about you that's different from the other people around you. What were you the only one doing? So some examples of that. I know people who are always grounding things. They're looking at the practical side. They're keeping things from blowing into too much drama or getting out of control. They're bringing the voice of reason. There are some people that help others kind of in all situations. They're nurturing the people around them. I tend to protect people who show some sign of vulnerability. In a situation, I pick up who just was made vulnerable by something someone said, and I sort of secretly protect them and maneuver things so that they're okay. That's more my calling than my occupation. I've taken my calling into every occupation I've done. I've taken my calling into every day of my life. So I just want you to think about that. When we think a calling is an occupation, you may or may not achieve financial success at that occupation, and then that stops you from fulfilling your purpose. It stops you from answering the calling. We don't get to have any job we want. We certainly have the right to pursue any job we want, but we don't always get to have that career. So my solution of viewing a calling is something that all situations call you to do. Then pursue a career, and now there's many more options, but you pursue a career, a position, a kind of work that allows that calling to fit into the work. And that is a scenario for success and for happiness and fulfillment. So find your calling. And if you do, what you're probably going to find is you already found it. And that calling has already been answered and is being answered. And if you know what it is, if you can answer the question, what was I the only one doing? Then you can craft a world that lets you deliver your purpose more consistently. And you may find more fulfillment, whatever job or career or circumstance you find yourself in.